Hi, I'm Josh Packard, and this is Megan Bissell. We are the people behind Future of Faith, and we wanted to share just a little bit about why we're so excited to bring this to you. For years, we worked to answer the most pressing questions about trends in faith and spirituality by collecting as much data as possible. As trained researchers and social scientists, we believe strongly in the power of data and research. And together, we collected dozens of research projects and built the largest data set in the country about young people and religion. Whenever there was a question, we just did more surveys, conducted more interviews, led more focus groups, more data. And it seemed to be going pretty well. See? Just look at how happy we look. But no matter how much data we collected, we always ended up with what one of our friends referred to as the Tallahassee problem. Every time we would share data in a presentation or at a conference, somebody in the audience would raise their hand and say some version of, okay, this is all great, but how much of your data is from Florida? The issues we have here aren't really like the rest of the country. And then we would scramble to share whatever we knew about Florida. But then somebody else would raise their hand and say, okay, yeah, sure, but what about Tallahassee? Tallahassee's not like the rest of Florida. And so, we would say whatever we knew about Tallahassee, or we would try and get some information and email them back. And then a few days later, someone would email us a follow-up question asking about data for North Tallahassee, because North Tallahassee, they would write, is fundamentally different than South Tallahassee. And on it would go. It used to really frustrate us. Here we were sitting with the largest data set in the entire country, and it still wasn't enough. But then we realized that the people asking these questions were right. The only data that really matters is the data about the people you're working to serve every day. You see, the problem with large national data sets from big organizations are twofold. First, most of the information in those data sets doesn't come from people you work with. It's great if you're a policymaker, maybe, to know what's going on in this whole country, but it's not so useful if you're doing real ministry with people every day. You're not the pastor to the nation. You're the pastor of your community. You're the youth minister to your kids. It just doesn't tell you all that much that's relevant to you to know what's going on across the country. Second, by the time that data gets to you, it's old, like really old, a year or more old. Research from big national organizations is inherently backward-looking. It was collected a long time ago, asking people about things that they've already done. Sometimes they'll ask them about things that they feel right now, but by the time that gets to you, it's in the past. Those data are great for documenting what has happened, but not all that useful for informing how you can meet people's needs moving forward. We call this living on the wrong side of action. And when we dreamed up what we wanted Future of Faith to be, one thing we knew was that we wanted everything that we did to live on the other side of action. We believe that listening to others is a sacred act, and that listening with real intention can be your superpower when it comes to connecting with others around issues of faith. That's why we built the sacred listening tools that are at the very core of Future of Faith. These tools help you collect information in your own communities to give you real-time access to how the people you care about most are doing right now. We've distilled and translated everything we've learned about how to collect information from people and find patterns and insights into easy-to-use, step-by-step guides that will result in you and your team having the information you need to scale relationships, rebuild the fabric of spiritual community, and build the future of faith right in your own neighborhoods. You don't need to be a research expert to do this. We guide you through every part of it so you can unlock the power of sacred listening in your own community. Megan and I have always said that we want to do research that is useful, not just interesting. And we think of these sacred listening tools and Future of Faith as a big part of that. If there's ever anything we can do to help you in that regard, do not hesitate to reach out. Thank you for all that you do to build the future of faith.